So this is a follow up video to the video I did about our running backs still valuable in the NFL, and in that video I let my sentiments be known that I believe that the value of running backs have diminished over the years because like one of these commentators or one of these analysts are going to put the best way to put it is you could find a running back who's not well known, who's not the most talented, and the chances of them giving you something that a Pro Bowl caliber running back can give you is as high as any other position. So I let my sentiments be known that I do believe that the role has diminished because you can find more people to do the role of a running back than you would be able finding a quarterback that can do what a Pro Bowl quarterback can do, or finding an offensive lineman that can do something that an All Pro or all Pro Bowl offensive lineman can do, or on defense. I mean, so, like I said before, the easiest position to translate to the NFL is the running back position, because really your job is to do one of two, maybe three things: run, pass, or run, pass in some instances, because San Diego was very popular with that, with the halfback pass with LaDainian Tomlinson, or catch. I mean, you have to be able to do at least two different things to be able to. You have to be able to run and catch to be a three down running back in the NFL these days, anyway. So I do believe the role has diminished. I won't say significantly, because you still need a good running back to help your offense, but it's not like how it used to be before, where every team would have a running back that could get you at least 85 yards in a game, or is capable of putting up 100. But now you're able to find so many more. But they're going to talk about it, and I'm just gonna give my feedback.
A story at Yahoo Sports argued that Todd Gurley's playoff disappearance is yet another reason it's a mistake to pay NFL running backs big money. The author, Frank Schwab, made an interesting observation, writing the Houston Texans wouldn't sit J.J. Watt for a half snap and blame game flow. The New York Giants wouldn't ignore Odell Beckham Jr. because of rhythm. There's no game plan that would leave Tom Brady on the bench for half of New England.
Two of those players are completely different. Their position is completely different than the running back position. J.J. Watt is probably the only defensive player in the NFL that I've seen that him playing affected his team's wins and losses. A few years ago, before his injuries started ramping up and he started missing a whole lot of time, J.J. Watt was what Aaron Donald is now, or he was then what everybody considers Aaron Donald now. I still believe that he has that in him, but for the Houston Texans, them sitting J.J. Watt is a huge mistake versus the Rams sitting Todd Gurley. Only because there is a C.J. Anderson to fill in for a Todd Gurley. There is no C.J. Anderson at the defensive end position to fill in for J.J. Watt if you don't put him in. There's not a C.J. Anderson to fill in for Odell Beckham Jr. on the Giants. There's not a C.J. Anderson on the New England Patriots if you need to sit Tom Brady. And that's the point that's trying to be made. And none of those positions besides Todd Gurley's position are running back positions. You're talking about a defensive end, you're talking about a wide receiver, you're talking about a quarterback. Three different positions that are different than what a running back does. And some might say that a wide receiver, quarterback, and a defensive end is far more important than a running back. So
$57.5 million contract extension the Rams gave Gurley last offseason was a gigantic waste. I completely disagree. Rams coach Sean McVay's Super Bowl game plan was garbage. And if the Rams owner, Stan Kroenke, and general manager Les Snead, if I were them, I'm having a long conversation with the golden boy of coaching about why my $57 million running back wasn't used like a $57 million running back. Paying Gurley was an organizational decision. Ownership, executives, and coaches all should have agreed to pay Gurley last offseason. The organization decided to make Gurley a focal point of the offense. McVay detoured from that plan during the postseason, and quarterback Jared Goff paid the price for that decision in the Super Bowl. For his career, Gurley has averaged 10 yards per reception. Guess how many yards per reception Patriots wideout Julian Edelman has averaged for his career? How many? 10.8. The Patriots figured out a way to make Edelman MVP of the Super Bowl. McVay, the smartest offensive mind in the history of football, threw the ball more often to human bowling ball C.J. Anderson than Gurley. Gurley was the life preserver that Goff needed early in the Super Bowl. It was obvious in the Rams' first possession that Goff was rattled. It made sense. A 24-year-old kid facing Tom Brady in the Super Bowl is supposed to be nervous. The perfect way to settle Goff down would have been some easy throws to Gurley swinging out of the backfield. It would have slowed the Patriots' rush and given Goff confidence. You're not going to convince me that the value of running backs is declining when I just watched Carolina Panthers running back Christian McCaffrey carry Cam Newton for an entire season. The first 5 or 6 weeks of the season, McCaffrey had Newton playing at an MVP level. After Newton re-injured his shoulder, McCaffrey's playmaking ability masked the fact Newton couldn't throw downfield.
All right, I got to stop it right there because I got a couple things to say. First off, the St. Louis / Los Angeles Rams, they paid Todd Gurley off of his first year there. Because if you remember his first year there, he was almost unstoppable. Like, he looked like the best running back in the NFL at that time. Like, he looked so dynamic, he looked so explosive. You know, he looked like one of the best. Now, I said it before. Todd Gurley has a problem with consistency. He has a major problem with consistency. His first year, he was phenomenal. His second year or so, he disappeared. You know, he disappeared. Honestly, if I was the Rams, I wouldn't have paid him as much as I did. I wouldn't have paid him as much as they did. Because, I mean, he disappeared during regular season runs, during regular season stints. He's disappeared. I don't put that on Sean McVay. What I put on Sean McVay was, if you were going to sit him, you had to have a backup plan. And Sean McVay's backup plan was C.J. Anderson. Because C.J. Anderson was playing so well in the offense. You know, and honestly, we don't know how Todd Gurley's relationship is with Sean McVay. And Todd Gurley is not the reason why Jared Goff didn't play well. It was Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp not being there is the reason why he didn't do as well. Because under pressure, it's like that saying where they say, wounded animals go to ground that they're familiar with. Every quarterback has a go-to guy. When shit breaks down, you need your go-to guy. And his go-to guy was Cooper Kupp. Sorry, still sick. Todd Gurley, you know, he was paid because, you know, the Rams thought they had to. They didn't have anybody else. They didn't have anybody else on that team that was as good as him on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, the Rams have always had a pretty good defense. I mean, before Jared Goff got there, before Sean McVay got there, the Rams would have these games where they look like a completely different team than what you, in reality, you knew they were. So, you know, I don't know. I just don't agree with that whole sentiment right there. But also another thing is the whole Christian McCaffrey thing. I want to know how does Christian McCaffrey make Cam Newton look like an MVP caliber quarterback when Cam Newton was an MVP caliber quarterback before Christian McCaffrey got there? Before Christian McCaffrey got there, they went to a Super Bowl. Whether they won it or not, he still got them there. Honestly, that Super Bowl run the Carolina Panthers had was pretty fucking impressive. You mean to tell me that Cam Newton got to the Super Bowl throwing to Philly Brown and who was the other guy? I believe Devin Funchess was there, and it was I think it was just Devin Funchess, but I think no, Kelvin Benjamin was hurt, so he didn't even have his number one target, which was Kelvin Benjamin. I mean, you had Greg Olsen there, and Greg Olsen is a stud tight end, but the cast that he got to the Super Bowl with on offense was pretty impressive, and I wasn't surprised when they lost because Denver was just an all around better team. I'm not gonna say Peyton was better than I'm not gonna say Peyton was better than Cam. I'm just saying that the team surrounding the quarterback, it was better. It was a better team in Denver than it was in Carolina. But yeah, I don't see how Christian McCaffrey makes Cam Newton look like an MVP quarterback when since McCaffrey's been there, I don't think they made the playoffs. So how is he making Cam better when we already seen Cam at his best? So, I don't know about that.
Are we dumping on the running back position because Sean McVay choked in a big game? All right, joining the desk.
They all choked. They all choked. And that was the point. They all choked. And when I made the argument for why the running back position isn't as valuable anymore, I hope I was being clear because, sometimes when I'm speaking, I'm thinking I'm being clear, but sometimes it's hard for people to understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to try to clear it up a little more. The reason why I believe that the value of the running back position has went down is because you can find more people to do the same job of a high caliber player at that position than you can at other positions, like I said earlier. That doesn't mean that the running back position isn't valuable. It just isn't as valuable as it used to be. Because about 20 years ago, when Tom Brady first came into the league, it was a run first league. I mean, you had your quarterbacks like Peyton Manning and Steve McNair, and you had Kurt Warner. You had those guys. But the team that got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the Super Bowl, the quarterback that got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the Super Bowl was Brad Johnson. And for those who don't know who Brad Johnson is the prototypical game manager. Game manager. I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. He's a game managing quarterback. His job is to not mess up. You don't have to play extremely well, but your job is to not make mistakes. That's all a game manager is. So it was a run first league, man. Michael Pittman, I believe, was the horse of that offense. They ran it probably with him the first 2 times, and then they passed, and that's how it goes. But now it's a pass first league. So that was it. That was all I wanted to brush up on because I saw this little clip. I saw this little clip that I missed last time earlier, and just wanted to make a video about it. All right.